like y'all said, my name's Melana, and I am an 811 resident. So we do this all the time, but for me, this is kind of dear to my heart because this is my neighborhood. So I'm here to let you guys know how what actually happens when you call 911. And before I start, I want to let you guys know that tomorrow we're also going to be at 811's beat meeting. So if you know anybody that's going to miss this today, you might want to tell them they can check us out tomorrow and get all the wonderful tips. Okay? I've been with the city for 20 years. Oscar and I are partners together. We do this all the time. So feel free to ask us anything that you like. What happens when you call 911? So you call, contrary to what you might believe, your call doesn't go to 63rd and St. Louis. Your call doesn't go to the park here. It goes downtown to the 911 center, which is at 1411 Madison. And you talk to a call taker. Our room is made up of fire and police. So 1/4 of our building is fire department and 3/4 is all police. So you call down there and we work on what's called a CAD, a computer aided dispatch system. So everything is electronic. We have computers, we have monitors, everything is there. You call 911 and we determine if you need fire or if you need police or maybe you might need both. So what we do if you need fire, we switch over to fire, which are just a few feet away, and they'll handle your call. If it's the police that you need, then we'll stay on the phone with you. Again, it's a call taker that answers your call. They'll begin to ask you a series of questions. Number one question is, why are you calling 911? So just keep in mind that they are going to ask you a lot of questions, and sometimes it seems very bothersome for you to answer all these questions, and you're just like, just get me the police. But also know this, we have the ability to send the police while we're actually talking to you. Everything's computerized. All we do is hit a little D for details to follow. That call goes over to dispatch while we're still talking to you. We'll ask you what's going on, descriptions, where was he last seen, was there a vehicle involved? We'll ask you everything. And the more information you give us, the better for you and for the police officer on the streets, everyone's protection. Okay, so we're going to ask you all these questions and then we're going to prioritize your call. We have 3 priorities, and the priorities that we have were given to us by the Chicago Police Department. Number 1 priority are events that are going on right now, any imminent threat to life, a battery in progress, a theft in progress, shots fired. That's all priority 1. Those get dispatched first. Priority 2 are the jobs that just occurred, 10 minutes or less, whether or not the offender's on the scene. So maybe a robbery just occurred 5 minutes ago. That's going to be priority 2. Those get dispatched second. Everything else is a priority 3, and that's your loud music, your loud dog barking, your parking violators. That's all 3rd dispatch. So that's the way we give out the job. So it depends on what you tell that call taker. That's the kind of service that you're going to receive. We also have, everyone talks about anonymity. Anonymity is a big topic because everyone's afraid of retaliation. So know that when Oscar and I, we're now instructors there, we teach the new hires. So all of our call takers, if it's a gang situation or narcotics, they are required to ask you if you want to remain anonymous. Okay? Anything else, that's up to you. My advice is to get that out immediately because we have some fast call takers that want to type really fast. So maybe they've gone through the whole call and then they ship it over to dispatch, and then at the end I forgot I wanted to be anonymous. Well, now that call's already on dispatch. So if you want to be anonymous, get it out right in the beginning of the call. I want to be anonymous, blah, blah, blah. There's a few situations where you can't be anonymous. One of them is if you're a victim of a crime. If you're going to need a report made, well, we have to know who you are so that we can tell the police who you are. If you're going to call and ask for a supervisor, same thing. We have to know who you are to let the supervisor know who you are. So that's, but anything else, fine. If you have your neighbor Betty is getting beat up, you can call and you can be anonymous because you're not looking for a report. You just want to help Betty. So you can be anonymous. Cell phones, that's a big issue right now. Everybody has a cell phone. And when you call from your house, we get who that phone is registered to. We get the printout. We get Mary Smith, 5132 Normandy, Chicago, Illinois, blah, blah, blah. We get all that. But when you're on the cell phone, we don't get that. If I were to call right now in this building, my readout would probably be 5100 to 5199 South Normandy. So it's just a block radius. So if anything, if you're calling 911 from your cell phone, just get out where you're at. At least we can find you, and then we can go from there. We also have phase 2 technology at our center, which means if you're on a cell phone, maybe you're being chased, you're running down the street and you have your cell phone, we have the ability to hit a little button on our console and it updates your location. So if you're in motion, you don't have to say anything, but just the fact that you're still holding your phone and it's on, we can find out where you're at and what direction you're headed. Language line. If you know someone who English is not their native language, they can call 911. We work with over 250 languages with the AT&T line. And it's just a press of a button. We can get Spanish, Chinese, Polish, anything. We've got it all there. So please tell your neighbors, don't let them, don't let the fact that they can't speak English stop them from calling 911. 311. I don't know if you all saw the news the other day, but there's a new feature now at 311. You can also track your service request. So 311 and 911. We tell everyone to call 911 when they need the police to come out. We tell people to call 311 when they need to make a report over the phone. So let's say, for instance, I went to bed, my car was fine. I wake up and now my windshield is shattered. Well, that's not something the police would come out for. I need a report for my insurance purposes, so I'm going to call 311. They're going to make a report, they're going to give me the report number, and they're going to send the copy. I didn't have to take up a resource for maybe someone's going or shots fired. I got my report and that's what I needed. Some other things that can be made over the phone threats, criminal damage to property reports, and a big one, garage burglaries. If it's a home, that's different. We send the police. But if it's a garage burglary, you wake up, you find out that your garage has been broken into, your tools are missing, that's going to go over to the non-emergency section. You're going to get a report over the phone. Now, if you come out and you see someone leaving from your garage, that's a different story. That just occurred and we are going to send the police. If we do send the police, descriptions are very, very, very important. I always tell everyone the best way to give a description is start from your head and work all the way down to your feet. So you're going to, color hair. Was it long? Was it short? Was it an afro? Whatever. What color was their skin? Did they have any distinguishing marks? Any tattoos? Any scars? And what were they wearing? What color was their shirt? Again, start from your top and go down to your bottom. Were they wearing gym shoes? What color? Were they heavy set? Were they thin? Approximate age? If a vehicle's involved, get as much as you can. If anything, remember symbols. Symbols will help you. We always teach our new hires this. If you're trying to describe a car, use symbols. It's CYMBALS. So it's going to be your color, your year, your make, the body style, and then the license and the state. Symbols. Remember that, and you can always, and even if you have a partial, like Al gave out earlier, give whatever you can. And then direction of flight is important. Where was that vehicle last seen? Was it going northbound on Normandy? Was it going southbound on Natoma? Wherever. Make sure you give all that information out. And then the last thing I want to talk about is 311. If you're calling for 311, maybe your lights are out, you need a garbage can, you want some trees trimmed, call 311. You can even go online now, cityofchicago.org/311. You can put your request on the computer. Make sure you obtain your SR number, which is a service request number. With that number, you can go back and you can check the progress of your service.
Covered everything.
I would, yeah.
What an Oscar have to say.
Oscars, I was just got to stand there and look at it.
It's so different. When it's your own neighborhood, it's like, you really care. Not that I don't care about any other neighborhoods we go to, but this is my neighborhood, and I'm not going to let anybody mess with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
How come sometimes when we call, we automatically go to Summit? Our phones sometimes.
Cell phone?
Great
Yeah.
question.
See, and that's the thing. There's a thing that's called triangulation, depending on where the cell tower's at.
Okay.
Your signal goes up in the air, and wherever in the middle of the 3 cell towers, it might go west, it might go north, it might go south. It looks like, and it's a big complaint over in this area.
90% of the time
It always goes west.
Right.
Yeah, that's the biggest complaint, and it's just the way it happens. But Summit, when they even tell them, look, they say Summit 911, hey, I need Chicago. Just like us, if you ask for Summit, press the button, we can switch to Summit. And I'm sure Summit can switch it right over.
Summit has done that. They've stayed on the line with you too until the Chicago dispatcher comes on.
And that's exactly what they should do. But that's a technology thing that we do not have any control over unless there's actually with the the cell towers somehow, maybe if they connect more cell towers here, then they can pick up your signal, otherwise, that's the way it is right now.
The one thing I wanted to say also is don't assume that your neighbor's going to call. That's the worst thing you can do. And even if it is a broken windshield, please make a report because there's a paper trail. Maybe there's a pattern here and the 8th District needs to know about it. If you don't make a report, it's like it never happened. I can tell you right now with all of us in here, if someone were to run in here, grab his hat and keep running, I can guarantee you would have at least 20 different descriptions because everybody sees different. But just think, with everybody's input, we can get the bad guys. So don't think that Betty's going to call. Maybe Betty's not calling today. You take the initiative and pick up that phone and call for anything. And if you ever are unhappy with your service, please do not hesitate to ask for a supervisor. All of our calls are tape recorded and they all have to go somewhere. We can't just hang up on you and hide the call. Once that phone rings, you get a number stamped on your call. We have to do something with those numbers. Ask for a supervisor. Chances are when you call back, you might not get that same person, but ask that person for a supervisor. Just make sure you specify a 911 supervisor, because there's also the field supervisor. That's who you would ask if you had a problem with the officer.
And actually, something that something that Alan said earlier about the suspicious person in the vehicle, when you call in about a suspicious person, and this is just the way it is, you gotta let us know why you think they're suspicious. You can't just say, yeah, this guy's suspicious, send the police. This guy's he's been seen driving around the neighborhood before, looking at, other houses, maybe, just even telling us that, okay, that is suspicious. Because you'd be amazed how often people call and say, yeah, they're suspicious because they don't live around here. A lot of people don't live around here, but give us why they're suspicious.
Or I've never seen him. We get that a lot.
I've never seen him. Just tell us, well, hey, I saw him, he's looking, my neighbor's not home, he looked in there. There's been a lot of burglaries lately. This guy fits the description of somebody that I heard about in the cops meeting. Please tell us why. Believe me, it helps us out so much more. Otherwise, you're going to say, so why is he suspicious?
Do multiple calls for the same reason dispatch it faster?
The only way it would dispatch it faster is if there's something that you told us that would make us raise the priority. But that's why I always tell people, call, everybody call.
I'm saying if multiple calls on the same job, is it dispatch it?
It depends.
The only thing, like say if it's all the same, like say it's 20 suspicious person call, as a dispatcher, we know if we get one call sometimes, when we get 20 calls and we're gonna say, hey, we tell the officers out there, hey, there's multiple calls on this, and then we got 20 of these calls, and I imagine that for us, that means, this is actually something really going on right here, so. We can't raise the priority, but it does alert the officers and the dispatcher that, hey, this is something really serious going on.
But like Michelle said, let's say we call because there's guys on the corner. And well, that's a disturbance. That's a priority 3. Well, now let's say you look out the window and now they're beating each other up. That's going to raise the priority because now that's a 1A. Now that's a battery in progress. I'm not telling you to go live because, again, everything is taped. Maybe about 10, 15 years ago, I had a woman who called and said her husband had a gun on her. And when the police got there, there was no gun. They had me play the tape back, and guess who went to jail?
And he said it too. I said I just get the police here faster.
So, yeah. Yes?
What's the response time in your priority? Because the reason why I asked is because I was driving down 63rd. I was going eastbound 63rd right before Cicero, and this guy was driving crazy. He was on the left-hand side, the guy on the right, and he was going to cut the guy off. Then he got pissed off, and then he came, it was my turn to drive up next to him, so then he wanted to go my lane, but I was in it. So then, I went up, and then he came time, so then he decided he wants to ram me. So he started chasing me down 63rd Street, and I called the police right away, and I went down 63rd, I turned down Cicero, he was done. I said, forget it, I'm going to get behind him now, and I'll give you the plates and everything. Well, still at 87, but still no police.
Well, that all depends on a lot of things. It depends on how many police officers are out there now and if they're already on assignments. It also depends on where they're at. They might be coming from the east side. And then too, we have a lot of calls like that, and you're in motion, you're moving, and you can be here, and then in a hot minute you can be over there. It's like, where do we send the police? What we can do is we can send them to the direction that you're going and just hope that somebody gets you. But it all depends on the manpower we have and what they're already handling right now. That to me is an assault in progress. Someone's threatening you on the street.
If I didn't speak up, he would have hit me.
And those calls pose so many different problems because there might be somebody coming right behind you and you're just going further and further from them because, because you're in motion. We've had those where they actually go from district to district to district to district, and it's almost impossible to try to get someone there like as quickly as they would be necessary, you know. Quite often, sometimes on 63rd, if I was on a point, I'd say, you know, if you're going, from Sister, if you're going east on 63rd, why don't you drive towards the police station?
Yeah.
We can let them know, hey, she's gonna be pulling in over here. kind of like,
But you did the right
Yes.
thing. As long as you're within safety, you did the right thing. You can ask that call taker, stay on the phone with me.
That's it.
And they can keep updating that ticket, even though you're on, your cell phone, they can manually say, okay, the caller's at blah, blah, now the caller's at Cicero, now the caller's at Colon, or whatever, keep going with you. Until eventually someone is gonna find you. Yes?
If she started out on 63rd and Cicero, then went into Burbank, which is around 87, what would happen then?
Then I would be calling Burbank to
Then
let them know.
then
they
you would
have-
automatically do
Yes.
that. She wouldn't have to worry.
Everything is at our fingertips. Every suburb is right at our council.
Every suburb in Cook County, we can reach from our council.
That's good to know.
If you're afraid to give your name, you can just use our name, the Garfield Ridge
Yeah.
Neighborhood Watch. We do it all the time. And they know, they're like, oh, these people are calling.
I'm glad you said that.
That's all right.
Well, thank you guys for coming out.